Hey, what's up, besties? I've been wanting to do a series where I just record from like my laptop webcam and I just tell you my morning coffee thought. This morning I have an almond milk latte and I just want to talk about whatever's in my brain for probably 10-15 minutes and just explain to you what's going on in my brain. Just a little catch up. I did graduate with my master's in cybersecurity, and that was a big part of my channel. Was essentially I would upload a video and then leave for 3 months for school, and then upload a video and then leave for 3 months. And now I want to be more regular in my content, so I think that's a big part as to why I want to start doing these videos. It's been a wild journey, okay? But one of the main things I want to talk about today is some things that I've been kind of unlearning in therapy as I move to a more healthy mental space. And one of the things I want to talk about is this notion that Latinas have to be crazy, right? And I'm not the crazy Latina, like the notion I am one, right? Toxica, all these different names they have for it, like spicy Latina. I've been wanting to approach this topic for a little while because I've honestly grown out of some of these tropes. Not grown out, but I'm honestly icked out. It's kind of gotten to the point, it's at the point, it's gotten to the point where I don't know, I don't find, how do I say it, propagandizing or putting out in the world tropes, stereotypes, all these things is helpful or is progressive towards, and I might be the too woke friend right now, okay? But I just don't feel it's progressive for the group, right? Let me explain. As I've joined my mental health journey and like debunked all these different things in therapy, I realized how bad of a person I was before therapy. And I can acknowledge that and say like the abusive traits that I had were embedded in myself so bad that I didn't ever think that I was wrong. Because of media as well. Like it's not even just normalized in the culture. I'm going to say I am Puerto Rican, so disclaimer here, I am Puerto Rican. And there's like these videos where it's like POV, you're dating a Puerto Rican and she's like throwing a chancla or beating her man with a pan. And I know it's supposed to be funny. And maybe I am just the too woke friend, okay? Maybe I am. Handcuff me. But it's gotten to a point. And I think a big recognizing for me or a big moment for me was I don't really want to say where it was. Okay, I was in a professional setting. And this was not recently. This was a few years ago. And I found myself constantly being told things that I didn't see other people being told. You're so eloquent. You are very well spoken. Your temperament is very calm. You are the contrary of what I thought you would be. And I started going to therapy around that time, and I kept telling my therapist, like, why do people automatically assume that I'm going to be this unhinged, crazy person? Sorry, I had a disruption. And I just don't like, and I've been thinking about it, especially throughout my journey with therapy, that it's just so normalized. The spicy Latina, toxica, this moment is very normalized. And if you didn't know, the recent movie Obsession came out, and I'm seeing a lot of people, apparently, I don't know too much about it. All I know is that the main character woman, I know she goes through a lot, but apparently she's a little bit of a toxica, whether that be from her environment, reactive abuse, etc. It shouldn't be normalized. And all the comments, instead of it being from a genuine mental headspace of, wow, this movie discusses reactive abuse. Wow, this movie is so interesting. I felt this before. I felt this feeling. All of the comments are like, this is me. Like, that's actually me. That's how I act. Like, and I used to be that person. I used to be like, I'm just so crazy. So crazy. And it didn't take, and it really did take going to therapy, discussing some of these things and being told like that is not okay, for me to look back and go, Yeah, it was not okay, some of the things I've done. Throwing things, screaming, these things are so normalized, especially, I feel like, in specific communities. And whether it be perpetuated by people like Sofia Vergara on media, um, I don't know if I've just outgrown the trope, but I haven't had the want, the need, the energy to scream in a long time. Like yell at anyone. I haven't had the want or need to like physically threaten anyone, which I don't really do. I'm not a physical person, but just like empty threats. I haven't had the want to do any of that since getting the ick from media specifically. And I know there's going to be other individuals of other ethnicities, genders, etc., who maybe resonate with this due to the way that they are portrayed in media. And I want to say, honestly, I used to be terrified to be this stereotype, but I would feed into some of them that were considered positive. Like, you are not the stereotypes that are put out to the media for your group, your gender, your etc. And I think that's a very important message to give out to young adults, especially when you're trying to find your way in the world. I feel like all of this is fed to you and it's kind of told as a guidebook of how you should or shouldn't act. Like, the spicy Latina trope, I feel, gave me a purpose or a being from like 13 to 17. And if you didn't know, I started my relationship at 14. So because of that trope that I'm learning through media, watching Modern Family, watching these different shows, it informed the way that I treated people around me. And I'm not saying it's right. I do agree it's wrong. But it gives you a sense of purpose as to, okay, this is how I should act. And if you don't see individuals who understand coping mechanisms, who know who they are, who fight, back against stereotypes or are the complete opposite, you don't learn those other ways of life. So I feel like I'm just rambling, but it's definitely something I wanted to talk about. It honestly gives me the ick if I'm in public and someone's like, oh, are you a spicy Latina or are you a toxica? Because I find it's something that people even ask within the first couple of minutes of knowing you, which I think is crazy. I think it is crazy for you to ask me that straight off the bat. Because, what? I think to automatically assume, and I also think my energy feeds into this. I have a very chaotic energy, very high energy when I'm in public. I can understand how that feeds into the crazy toxica narrative, but for it to be like one of the first 3 questions, immediate ick, probably not going to be my friend. Sorry. You're probably not going to be in my, because why is that the first thing you're asking me? What about hello, how are you, how's your day, what do you do for work? Like, what about all these other questions immediately off the bat, especially with men? I've noticed, especially on dating apps. I don't date, but a lot of my friends who date who are Hispanic, I've watched videos, I've seen things, and the first thing the guy asks is like, are you a toxica? Are you a spicy Latina? No, I've been in therapy. I'm healed. Like, obviously not fully healed. I'm still going through things. But it's the way that it's just normalized. And people say they want to have healthy boundaries, healthy relationships, healthy energy. But until you can look at yourself in a mirror and pick out the parts where you have been abusive or you have been that, you're not actually therapized. Like, until I was able to say, hey, things that I've done in my life have been abusive, I was not actually therapized. Like, I don't know if that's a word. I'm kind of therapized. And that was a moment where I realized I did like an opposite action moment. I was immediately like, I want to yell at this person, like friends, whatever, whoever I wanted to yell at. Yelling was a big thing that I had to overcome. I want to yell. Opposite action. I started to be more quiet, be more like, I don't agree with this. I don't agree. Calm. And that really changed, I feel like, how people see me, how people interact with me. And I've honestly been told so much over the past couple weeks, like, you've calmed down, you are very relaxed, I could see you've done inner work. That's when things like that start flooding in. And even telling my best friend, like, I haven't screamed at anyone, which sounds crazy, but it is something that I went through. Like, I haven't screamed at anyone in 6 months. For them to be like, wow, that's like growth, is what we should be striving for. We shouldn't be striving for feeding deeper into it. And I don't want friends who are going to feed deeper into that and be like, girl, just be crazy, just break his phone, just go through his phone and break his car. No, I don't really want that. I don't want to be spicy. Like, if you want to be all of that, go ahead, but I can promise you, from someone who was in that headspace, you don't feel fulfilled at the end of the day. After you break stuff, after you throw stuff, after you throw a fit, after you scream, after you cry, after you do all these things, I didn't feel any better. I felt worse. But that's my morning coffee thought. I love you guys. I feel like I'm going to start filming these, and I think it'd be cute to share my little thoughts every single morning. Bye.